yes, I've been sometimes to Hungary, especially to Budapest, and the contrast is the interesting thing in the city. So when you have the feeling that you are in the past times in Budapest, where you see these old buildings from the communistic area, and you pass by to the center, for example, you come into really modern parts where you have contemporary design or international design, of course, of the international brands. And so you have these both things in one city coming together and fighting against each other. And so I think it's a city which is turning over in a way at the moment. I think the typical thing in design that it's always seen on the surface, with what is done on the surface, and it looks ugly. I think in Hungary the structures have to be changed first. Otherwise, a designer has no change. So I would redesign society and politics first before I do the first sketch or whatever, because otherwise the design won't be part of the Hungarian society. I think that's the root of the problem, and then of course you get some ugly things out of it, not good looking or boring or whatever. So I won't say let's do first the banknotes or do the passport or something. I would say let's redesign the structure of the parliament first.
Okay.
I could too. Of course, I think it's important to do something in public areas, like city itself, like how do streets look like, how do the lampposts look like, where do I sit when I walk through the city, how orientation points marked, or for example. That's very important. And I think what is always interesting are topics with dealing with national identity. So you have a passport, you have stamps, you have the representation of the state of Hungary in the web, for example, like the ministries, or everything what is building the brand of a nation could be interesting, even in comparison to Europe. So where is Hungary located in correlation with the European idea? What is the position of Hungary in the European context? Everything related to this thing could be designed first. Yeah, but that's point of bad details. It's bad details because I think the big brands, they have really strict rules and they have really good corporate design concepts. The thing is that the design management is bad. I think that they don't have people located in shops or wherever, or in the marketing departments, which are really driven by quality, which are driven by these hierarchical systems of corporate design. I think the problem is that the corporate design rules are old and they are not integrating people using it, but they're just saying them what to do. And of course there is no identification then, and people don't like it because it's not yours. It's just because my boss says to me that I have to do something what I don't understand, so I do it in a different way. I think it should be more motivating and more flexible and more modular, and then it would work, I think. It's a problem of thinking, that the concepts are very, very old. These traditional old branding concepts, they already have gone, but they still exist. And people are more collaborative at the moment and more integrated in things. It's not the fault of the concept. The concept is totally wrong. It's very old-fashioned, because people working with it are not connected to the brand with their heart. It's unemotional. It's not theirs. It's also not very easy, because I think these implementation processes and these design management processes are the hardest things to do. It's easier to build up a nice brand and to make a structure, but a working structure, that's harder. It is really functional, easygoing, efficient, and beloved. The problem, things are not beloved. It's just told them. Yeah, but you can find out if it's the right client before. So when you're starting to choose the client or to work with the client, then you have to decide if he's really ready for a process or if you're just delivering a concept. And delivering a concept is a completely misunderstanding of design, because design never ends. Design is a project, which is a process which is ongoing, and if you have people working together with people which have the quality of long-term idea of identity and changing identity, because it has to change from time to time, then it's the right partner. And then it's possible to avoid the areal problem. But I think it works. Most of our clients, really long-term clients, they stick to us. They are really into our working process, and we rarely have this problem. Most of the time it's more or less in the other way around, that they come back and say, can we do something new? Can we improve? Can we go further? It's more or less like this at the moment. The Schaulabor was born out of the intention that the Vienna Design Week was recently more focused on industrial design. So this is still there, but I talked to the initiators of the Vienna Design Week, and we came to the idea that it would be good to have visual design and other disciplines integrated in the Vienna Design Week. And so we created the Schaulabor, which is showing the design process in the public space. We are sitting here on the Karlsplatz. It's in the heart of Vienna, the center of Vienna. You can hear the cars go by, and a lot of people going here. It's the main underground station here. So you're really in the middle of the public, and it's a glass cube, so it's quite open. And so when you walk by, you could see designers working in there, and even normal people which have nothing to do with design can step by and look what designers inside are doing. And the structure inside is done like that you have different disciplines working beside each other or with each other. So you have infrastructure in there, like a plotter for films and a plotter for inkjet posters, for big posters. And they can use all the equipment with internet and all this stuff. And we are just commenting sometimes a bit in the background and then force them to interact and to exchange into their professions. So industrial designers work with musicians, and musicians work with DJs, and DJs work with graphic designers. And so this collaboration is done in between the disciplines. And on the other hand, you have people from Slovakia, you have people from Prague, from London, from Austria, of course, and people from Romania or from Switzerland. And so you get an additional exchange platform of different countries. It's more or less about the European idea, of course. And the third point is that this is more or less the festival center or the information center here as well. So on the table, people can pick up info flyers and so on. And a lot of the tours of the press people from the press, the writers, end here in the Kunsthalle. So they step in, and the press people, the media people talk to the designers, and most of them are young designers. So it's a good chance for the designers to position them internationally, because they have to talk to the chief editor of the IT magazine. He's just there and talks to you, and it's great. And next year we are trying to expand it a bit, maybe in the architectural direction, so that people are working even more in space. And the whole thing here, it will be one big design thing next year, 1 week dedicated to design. Normally this is a place for arts here, so you have arts exhibitions, but next year it will be a design exhibition on the left, and behind us there will be the Schaulabor as well. So it's more or less 1 week of design concentrated in this building. It's a laboratory, so we just made the setting, and we didn't know how it works. It works very, very well. It's a lot of exchange, it's lots of output, but we didn't tell them what to do. So it was no topic or no theme, or it was open, totally open. So people could do what they want, except our workshop now, which is today, where Peter Bilak comes from Slovakia, and he was teaching yesterday at the University of Applied Arts with my students, and today they came over and they're doing one day in here, working on their actual type design, what they do normal when they work with it. And he's commenting it and making critics and so on. So, but the students are mixing with the professional designers, and that's also a very interesting thing because you have these professional people here and the learning people. So it's also another interchange thing. Not yet. When a design week is really focused on industrial design. It is at the moment, and I think it will be in the future as well. It's the heart of it, and it came from, and there it is still. Of course, you had a little bit of fashion, not so much, bit, but it's really focused on product design, and we are trying to expand it now. This year it's the first year from the Schaulabor, and yeah, it will be happening in the next year as well. Yeah, the interesting thing is that it's not singularly here in the Schaulabor. It's also that you can feel that graphic designers, visual designers are getting a voice in the media as well. As I recognized recently, there are more people like me who are writing about design. And when you think back something like 5 or 6 years, it was nearly impossible because nobody was interested. And now the difference is that you have an auditory and people are aware of our profession. Today there was a writer here from one of the Austria quality newspapers, and she was discussing with me this structure and also the visual part. So they're just opening up, and they just want to write about it. And people are listening. Yesterday was the Pecha Kutscher night, and I've been talking about the Was braucht die Welt, what needs the world, our project we did recently. And the Pecha Kutscher night was, of course, dominated by architecture and a lot of industrial design, but I was there as a graphic designer as well. So it's going on, and Pecha Kutscher is quite popular. It's not only in the design community, it's more open. So yeah, it's coming up. The system is growing. That's a funny thing because I just was nominated, it happened, but in a joke I always say my next aim is European of the Year. I'm a fan of the European idea. I love this Europe idea, and European is even better than world for me. So it's really good. No, the interesting thing here is as well that me as a graphic designer, I'm nominated in the category creative industries, and you have an architect, a musician, a fashion designer, and a graphic designer as well. So this is really game designer also. And it's really a new thing, because I think also some years ago nobody would have nominated a graphic designer. So this is also another sign for it, I think, that it's people really get aware of our skills and our power. We can move something, we could do a lot, quite. And people now slowly get into it.